Have you ever wondered if the secret to achieving your deepest desires lies in not actively pursuing them? This paradoxical question forms the essence of the backwards law, a principle that upends everything we've been taught about effort, success, and desire. What if the key to unlocking your greatest potential and attaining your most sought-after dreams is, surprisingly, to stop trying so hard? This might sound counterintuitive, perhaps even nonsensical at first glance. Yet, within this enigmatic idea lies a profound truth that has been echoed across various spiritual and philosophical teachings throughout history. We are about to embark on an extraordinary journey, one that will not only redefine your understanding of desire and effort, but also transform the way you approach every aspect of your life. Each step of this journey will not only enlighten you, but also challenge you to look at your desires, your actions, and your life's goals in a completely new light. Are you ready to discover how doing less can actually bring you more? Stay with me, as what lies ahead might just be the most liberating experience of your life. The backwards law has echoes in various spiritual and philosophical traditions. The idea that doing less can bring more is often associated with a concept known as Wu Wei, which comes from ancient Chinese philosophy and is often linked to Taoism. Wu Wei is a simple yet profound concept that emphasizes the importance of going with the flow of life rather than constantly striving and struggling to control everything. In essence, Wu Wei is about embracing the natural rhythm of life and allowing things to unfold without excessive interference or effort. It's like sailing a boat down a river. You don't need to constantly paddle and fight against the current. Instead, you simply adjust your sails and let the river carry you forward. This approach can seem counterintuitive in a world that often glorifies hustle and constant activity, but it holds a wisdom that can lead to a more balanced and harmonious life. Imagine a tree in a forest. It doesn't struggle to grow, it simply follows its inherent nature and reaches towards the sun, allowing its branches to spread and its leaves to flourish. It doesn't fret over its growth or compare itself to other trees. It just is, in perfect harmony with its surroundings. This is Wu Wei in action, the effortless, spontaneous and natural way of being. In our fast-paced modern world, it's easy to become caught up in the relentless pursuit of success, material wealth, and societal approval. We often believe that the more we do, the more we achieve, and the happier we'll be. However, this mindset can lead to stress, burnout, and a sense of emptiness. Wu Wei offers an alternative perspective. By practicing Wu Wei, we learn to discern between meaningful action and unnecessary busyness. We begin to appreciate the beauty of simplicity and the power of patience. Instead of rushing through life, we start to savor each moment, finding joy in the small things and experiencing a profound sense of presence. One way to embrace Wu Wei is by letting go of the need to control every aspect of our lives. It's about releasing our grip on the steering wheel and allowing life to unfold as it will. This doesn't mean we become passive or indifferent. Rather, we become responsive and adaptable. We learn to work with the circumstances and opportunities that present themselves, rather than trying to force our way through obstacles. Think of a river once more. When a tree falls across its path, the river doesn't stop and fret about how to remove the obstacle. Instead, it flows around it, finding a new course. In the same way, when challenges arise in our lives, Wu Wei encourages us to approach them with flexibility and creativity, seeking new solutions and adapting to change. Now, let's delve into the art of letting go. You might wonder, how can I want something and simultaneously not chase after it? It's like trying to remember a dream upon waking. The harder you try to grasp it, the more it slips away. But when you gently hold the intention, staying relaxed and open, the details often flood back. Similarly, in life, a gentle focus without desperate clinging tends to yield the best outcomes. This idea of gently holding intentions without desperate clinging can be found in the teachings of the mystic and poet Rumi. Rumi, a 13th century Persian poet and Sufi mystic, is known for his profound wisdom on love, life, and spirituality. His poetry often speaks to the idea of surrender and letting go as a means of finding deeper meaning and connection in life. Rumi's poetry is filled with metaphors and stories that convey the essence of Wu-Wei. He often writes about the longing of the heart and the journey of the soul, likening it to a lover seeking the beloved. In Rumi's view, the path to fulfillment and inner peace is not through force or striving, but through surrender and acceptance. One of Rumi's famous poems speaks to the idea of letting go and trusting the natural flow of life. Let yourself be silently drawn by the strange pull of what you really love. It will not lead you astray. Here, Rumi encourages us to follow our true passions and desires without resistance. He suggests that when we align ourselves with our authentic desires and passions, we are naturally drawn towards them, and life unfolds in a way that feels effortless and harmonious. Another concept that aligns with Rumi's teachings is the idea of detachment. Detachment doesn't mean indifference or apathy, rather it means freeing ourselves from excessive attachment to outcomes and external circumstances. Rumi speaks to this in his poetry when he says, "Try not to resist the changes that come your way. Instead, let life live through you. And do not worry that your life is turning upside down. How do you know that the side you are used to is better than the one to come?" Rumi invites us to embrace change and uncertainty, recognizing that life is always in a state of flux. By letting go of our resistance to change and trusting in the process of life, we can find peace and contentment even in the face of challenges. As we move forward, we'll explore stories and examples that illuminate this concept. Consider the story of the archer who becomes so fixated on the prize that he can no longer hit the target. When he releases his concern for the prize and focuses only on the action of shooting, his arrows find their mark effortlessly. This archer's journey is a metaphor for our own experiences with desire and effort. In our daily lives, we often find ourselves chasing after various prizes. It could be a promotion at work, a new car, or even something as simple as a delicious slice of cake. We set our sights on these prizes, and our desire for them can become all-consuming. Just like the archer fixated on the prize, we can lose sight of the actual target, the actions needed to achieve our goals. Think about that archer for a moment. He stands on the shooting range, his bow drawn and his eyes locked onto the coveted prize. He's so consumed by the thought of winning that he forgets the basics of archery, the stance, the grip, the breathing and the release. His arrows veer off course, missing the target by a mile. Now let's turn our attention to another archer, one who has learned the art of detachment. She too has a prize in mind, but she doesn't fixate on it. Instead, she focuses on the process of shooting, the way she draws her bow, the feel of the string against her fingers, and the rhythm of her breath. Her mind is clear, and her actions are deliberate. As she releases her arrows, they fly true and hit the target effortlessly. She's not thinking about winning, she's thinking about shooting, and in doing so, she's far more likely to achieve her goal. The prize becomes a natural outcome of her skill and dedication to the craft. In our own lives, we can apply this principle to various situations. Let's take the example of a student studying for an important exam. If the student becomes too fixated on getting the highest grade or the admiration of their peers, they might become overwhelmed by anxiety. Their mind may race with thoughts of failure, making it difficult to concentrate. However, if the student shifts their focus to the process of studying, breaking down the material, practicing problems, and understanding the concepts, they are more likely to succeed. By detaching from the desire for a specific outcome and instead concentrating on the actions necessary to achieve it, they can approach their studies with a clear mind and a sense of purpose. The key to understanding the backwards law lies in redefining our relationship with desire. It's not about suppressing or denying our wants. Instead, it's about approaching them with a different mindset. This approach involves trust in the natural course of events, trust in the wisdom of life, and most importantly, trust in ourselves. In this part of our journey, we will examine how various cultures and spiritual traditions have embraced this idea. Jainism is an ancient Indian religion that emphasizes non-violence, ahimsa, truth, satya, and non-possessiveness, aparigraha. These principles align closely with the concept of the backwards law, particularly the idea that the less you want, the more you get. In Jainism, material possessions and desires are seen as impediments to spiritual progress. The followers of this faith believe that by renouncing worldly attachments and desires, one can attain spiritual liberation and ultimate happiness. They practice extreme forms of asceticism, often leading a simple and minimalist lifestyle. By minimizing their desires and wants, Jains aim to achieve a state of inner peace and contentment. Jains also practice non-violence towards all living beings, which includes refraining from harming or desiring harm to others. This commitment to non-violence aligns with the idea that by reducing negative desires and intentions, one can cultivate a more harmonious and fulfilling life. Native American cultures also offer insights into the concept of wanting less and gaining more. Native American cultures are rich with diverse spiritual traditions, but many share a deep connection with the natural world and a profound respect for the balance of desires. Native American teachings often emphasize the importance of living in harmony with nature and recognizing the interconnectedness of all living beings. In Native American cultures, there is a belief that taking only what one needs from the land and giving back in return ensures the well-being of the community and the environment. This perspective aligns with the idea that the less one desires, especially in terms of material possessions, the more one can live in harmony with nature and find abundance in the interconnectedness of all things. Additionally, Native American rituals and ceremonies often involve practices of gratitude and mindfulness. By appreciating the simple pleasures and recognizing the abundance in nature, individuals can find contentment and fulfillment without constantly seeking more. Epicureanism is a philosophical school of thought that originated in ancient Greece, founded by Epicurus. Contrary to some interpretations of hedonism, Epicureanism does not advocate unrestrained indulgence in desires. Instead, it promotes the pursuit of simple pleasures and the avoidance of unnecessary desires and fears. Epicurus believed that by minimizing unnecessary desires and fears, one could achieve a state of tranquility, ataraxia, and true happiness, eudaimonia. He argued that the pursuit of extravagant desires often leads to anxiety and discontent, while the pursuit of modest natural pleasures such as friendship, intellectual pursuits, and simple food brings greater satisfaction. In essence, Epicureanism aligns with the idea that the less you want in terms of extravagant desires, the more likely you are to find genuine happiness in the simple and natural pleasures of life. Zen Buddhism, which originated in China and later spread to Japan, is another tradition that aligns with the idea of the backwards law. In Zen Buddhism, there is a concept known as mu, or emptiness, which suggests that our attachments to desires and material possessions are illusions that lead to suffering. By embracing emptiness and letting go of attachments, individuals can find profound liberation and contentment. The practice of meditation in Zen Buddhism is a powerful tool for reducing desires and calming the mind. Through meditation, practitioners learn to observe their thoughts and desires without judgment, allowing them to gradually let go of attachments and cultivate a state of inner stillness. But how do we apply this in our daily lives? It starts with understanding the difference between wanting and needing. When we need, we operate from a place of lack and fear. When we want, we express our desires but remain open to the outcome. It's like planting a seed. We nurture it, but we don't pull it up every day to see if it has grown. We trust in its natural process. The practice of mindfulness plays a crucial role here. By being present in each moment, we detach from the constant chatter of our minds that amplifies our fears and insecurities. We learn to observe our thoughts and emotions without getting entangled in them. This awareness creates a space where our true desires can surface without the noise of our conditioned responses. Our minds are like never-ending thought factories, constantly generating thoughts about the past, the future, and everything in between. These thoughts often revolve around our fears, worries, and insecurities. They can lead us down a rabbit hole of negative thinking, making us feel anxious, stressed, or even depressed. Mindfulness teaches us to step back from this mental noise and observe our thoughts and emotions without getting caught up in them. It's like watching clouds passing by in the sky. You acknowledge their presence, but don't try to grasp or change them. This awareness creates a spacious mental environment where our true desires can surface. When we're not constantly bombarded by our own worries and fears, we can start to discover what we genuinely want and need. Many of our actions and decisions are driven by conditioning and habits formed over time. For example, we might overeat because we're stressed or buy things we don't need to fill an emotional void. Mindfulness helps us break free from these automatic responses and make more conscious choices. Visualization is another valuable practice that can help us align our desires with our true needs. It involves creating mental images of our goals and desires, allowing us to see them clearly in our mind's eye. This process can be a powerful tool for manifesting our desires while maintaining a sense of detachment. When we visualize our desires, we are essentially planting the seeds of our intentions in our subconscious mind. By repeatedly visualizing what we want to achieve, we send a message to our subconscious that this is important to us. This can lead to a heightened sense of motivation and focus on taking steps towards our goals. For example, if someone wants to lead a healthier lifestyle, they can start by visualizing themselves engaging in activities like exercising, eating nutritious meals, and feeling energetic and vibrant. This visualization can help them stay committed to their goal and make choices that align with their vision. However, it's essential to practice visualization with a sense of detachment. This means that while we visualize our desires, we do not become overly attached to the specific outcomes. We understand that life is unpredictable and things may not always go as planned. By maintaining this sense of detachment, we can reduce the suffering that often arises when our expectations are not met. Visualization also helps us identify our true desires. When we take the time to imagine what we want, we may discover that some of our desires are driven by external influences or societal pressures. For instance, we might realize that we've been pursuing a particular career path because it's expected of us rather than because it aligns with our true passions and values. By visualizing our desires and examining them with mindfulness, we can distinguish between genuine aspirations and those that are imposed upon us by external factors. This process allows us to let go of desires that do not serve our true well-being and focus on what genuinely matters to us. In addition to meditation, mindfulness, and visualization, the practice of gratitude can also help us cultivate contentment and reduce attachment to possessions and desires. Gratitude involves recognizing and appreciating the positive aspects of our lives, both big and small. When we cultivate gratitude, we shift our focus away from what we lack and toward what we already have. This shift in perspective can be transformative. Instead of constantly chasing after more possessions and desires, we learn to value and cherish the abundance that surrounds us. Gratitude can be practiced daily by taking a moment to reflect on the things we are thankful for. It could be the support of loved ones, the beauty of nature, good health, or even the simple pleasures of life, like a warm cup of tea on a cold day. By acknowledging these blessings, we create a sense of contentment and reduce the craving for more. It's important to cultivate flexibility in our thinking and actions. Life is unpredictable, and rigid plans or expectations often lead to disappointment. Instead, be like water, adaptable, fluid, and open to taking different forms as the situation requires. This flexibility doesn't mean you lack direction. It means you're skilled at navigating life's ever-changing currents. Now, as we conclude this journey, remember that the backwards law is not a one-time learning, but a continuous process of growth and understanding. It invites you to embrace paradoxes, to find strength in vulnerability, and to discover freedom in letting go. It's a path that leads not only to the fulfillment of desires, but also to a deeper sense of peace and connection with life. As we part ways in this journey, know that the journey within yourself continues. The backwards law, once understood and integrated, becomes more than just a concept. It transforms into a way of being. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.